What if the biggest mistake you could make this tax season is filing too early? Because tonight we need to talk about the Internal Revenue Service, what is quietly admitting right now, and why millions of Americans who are rushing to file their taxes could be walking straight into a financial nightmare. Now, this is not a rumor. This is not social media panic. This is coming directly from the IRS itself, an agency operating under the current administration of Donald J. Trump after massive tax changes just passed by the United States Congress, including Trump's one big beautiful bill. But here's the problem, folks. Millions of Americans are broke coming out of the holidays. Credit cards are maxed out. Buy now, pay later bills are due. Families are counting on tax refunds just to stay afloat. And at the exact same moment people need that money the most, the IRS is signaling something is very wrong. Now, they are saying that they are understaffed. Their systems are changing. New rules are still being worked in. Artificial intelligence is being rolled out midstream. And behind the scenes, tax professionals across the country, they're saying the same thing. Do not rush to file. Meanwhile, people are already filing, and that's where this gets dangerous. Well, tonight, I'm going to show you exactly what the IRS is warning about, why refunds could be delayed or even disappear, and why filing at the wrong time could cost you months of waiting, stress, and maybe even money that you were counting on. So drop a like button for the video, hit the subscribe. I really appreciate your support. Now stay with me, because once you see what's happening, you're going to understand why this tax season feels totally different. Now, here's the part that most people are missing. On January 9th, 2026, millions of Americans are preparing to file their taxes right now. They're assuming that this year pretty much works like every other year, right? But the Internal Revenue Service has already sent a very quiet procedural signal that this filing season is going to be different. In fact, it is different. There was no press conference. There was no breaking banner, just internal guidance, delayed forms, and behind the scenes acknowledgments that systems are being adjusted. Now, this is happening under Donald J. Trump after U.S. states Congress passed Trump's one big beautiful bill, which happened to rewire deductions and withholding rules. And this is exactly why this warning matters more than the headlines. Headlines tell you what already happened, right? Procedural warnings tell you what's about to break. So when the IRS quietly says, wait, it's not about convenience. It's about preventing millions of returns from entering a system that isn't fully aligned yet. Now, most people, they mistake silence for readiness. Now, in reality, silence is often the first sign of trouble. So this isn't political. It's not operational. The IRS is entering the 2026 filing season with fewer people, newer systems, and even more complexity than last year, believe it or not. Staffing reductions following the recent government shutdown left the agency thinner than most Americans realize. Entire processing units were consolidated, reassigned, or maybe even completely delayed returning to full capacity. At the same time, internal systems are being updated while filings are beginning. Not before, not after, but during. Now that matters, guys. Tax processing relies on sequencing, intake, validation, calculation, release. If one of those layers is missing, or if one of those layers is adjusting, everything downstream slows down. This is why readiness failures translates directly into refund timing issues. A return doesn't get rejected. It just waits. It doesn't error out loudly. It stalls quietly. And when millions of returns hit a system that's still calibrating, the bottleneck doesn't announce itself. It compounds. This is why tax professionals are warning clients not that refunds won't come, but that they won't come when people expect them to. Now that distinction is everything. So here's where this actually stops being abstract and it starts hitting home. For millions of Americans, a tax refund is not a bonus, it's a lifeline. It's how credit cards get paid down even after the holidays. This is how buy now, pay later balances don't spiral into interest traps. This is how people repay family members who floated them a little bit of cash when money got tight. And when those refunds don't arrive on time, everything backs up at once. So this is why filing into an unready system is so dangerous. I mean, the return doesn't fail loudly. It just doesn't bounce back with a clear answer. It just sits waiting. And while it's waiting inside the Internal Revenue Service, bills keep on coming. Statements don't pause. Due dates don't move. The pressure builds quietly. And most people don't even realize what's happening until weeks pass with no update. That's why this matters, because by the time you realize that you're stuck, there's really really nothing that you can do to speed it up. And so this exact kind of financial pressure doesn't just show up during tax season. A retiree recently told me something that really stuck with me. An uncovered medical bill wiped out her grocery money for an entire month. Not because she was reckless, not because she splurged. She didn't even eat out. She didn't overspend. Her Medicare plan just didn't protect her the way that she thought it would. And that's the kind of quiet failure that most people don't see coming. The same way refund delays catch people off guard. This is why I partner with Chapter. Chapter helps make sure your Medicare coverage actually works for you. And that way you're not going to be forced into some kind of food or medicine trade-off later. You know what I mean? They review your plan, they explain what's missing, and they help fix problems before they cost you a cent. Now, most people who want peace of mind, they're already calling the phone number at the bottom of your screen, 909-563-8279, or they're clicking the link in the description down below, going to askchapter.org/Ron. Now, let's get back to what's changing this tax season, because this next part explains why the rules shifted in the first place. So this filing season is way more complex for one specific reason. The rules changed, and they changed recently. Under President Donald J. Trump, Congress passed the One Big Beautiful Bill, which introduced new deductions and adjusted how withholdings works across millions of households. Now, on paper, that is really good news, but operationally, it creates friction. New deductions don't instantly translate into finished forms. Withholding tables have to be recalculated. Processing logic has to be updated, tested, and aligned across IRS systems. And that right there, that work didn't finish neatly before January. It's happening as people are preparing to file. And this is not speculation. This is how large-scale tax systems work. The law moves fast. The machinery catches up later. This is why tax professionals are not panicking, but they are cautious. Because when filings hit before machinery is fully synced in, the system doesn't guess, it waits. And waiting is what creates refund delays, not the law itself. So this is where common sense betrays people. Most Americans assume filing early puts them in the front of the line. Anybody would agree with that? Drop a yes if you do. But with the Internal Revenue Service, that's not how it works. Especially this year. Certain returns, particularly those that are involving the earned income credit and the child tax credit, they're legally restricted from being processed until later in the season. So when you file early, your return doesn't move faster. It just gets parked. And here's the new angle that most people miss. Early filers often become test cases. So when systems are still aligning after changes like the One Big Beautiful Bill, early returns, they're the ones that are most likely to hit mismatches and validation checks or timing conflicts. That's when queue paralysis kicks in. Basically, your return isn't rejected, it isn't approved, it's just kind of frozen in a holding pattern while the system catches up. Meanwhile, later filers may actually pass through faster once the pipeline stabilizes. Filing early actually feels proactive, but in a year like this, it can quietly work against you. Now, of course, I'm not a financial advisor, I'm not a tax advisor, I'm not a tax consultant. This is not tax advice. It's not financial advice either. Always consult your own tax advisor or financial consultant. I am not either of those professions. Now, a lot of people tell themselves, well, I'll just file now, and if there's an issue, I'll fix it later. Now, that mindset, it sounds reasonable until you get flagged, because once a return is flagged inside the IRS system, time stops working in your favor. Corrections don't move quickly. Amended tax returns don't jump the line. They just kind of go into a separate process that can stretch weeks into months. And the silence is what breaks people. There's no clear updates. It's like, what's going on with my tax return? No timeline you can trust, just waiting. That's the emotional trap. I mean, you kind of think you're getting ahead, but the moment that your return gets pulled aside, you lose control of the clock. Bills keep moving, life keeps on moving, your refund doesn't. This is why the tax professionals are so cautious about fix it later thinking this year. Once you're in the system the wrong way, there's really no button to undo it. And that's a hard lesson to learn the slow way. So here's something most Americans were not told plainly. The Internal Revenue Service is rolling out artificial intelligence across parts of its tax processing systems right now. Not someday, not years from now, this year. Internally, this has been acknowledged as a transition period. AI is being used to assist with validation, fraud detection, and processing prioritization. And while that might sound efficient, learning curves don't disappear just because the technology is new. AI doesn't automatically mean faster or better returns or better results in one day. It means adjustment. It means calibration, tweaks. And of course, during calibration, mistakes happen. Some returns may get flagged incorrectly. Audits may be triggered unexpectedly. Some returns, well, who knows what happens to those? Others may be delayed while systems cross-check data in new ways. This creates risks in both directions: under refunds, over refunds, and holds that just don't resolve quickly. So this is not fear mongering. This is a reality of system transitions at scale. So the IRS itself knows that this is not a plug and play year. And when millions of tax returns hit a system that's still learning how to evaluate them, timing becomes unpredictable, even when nothing is technically wrong. So here's the uncomfortable truth. Some Americans are still waiting on tax refunds from 2024 while they're preparing to file for 2025. Can you believe that? Anybody still waiting on a refund? Well, that backlog never fully cleared. Paper filings, amended returns, returns flagged for review stacked up quietly over the last 2 seasons. And while the IRS does pay interest on delayed refunds, it's minimal. It's pennies. Nowhere near enough to offset the financial strain people are experiencing while they're waiting, especially with credit card debt and credit card statements backing up. This backlog matters because it sets the baseline for 2026. This is a system that's already carrying unresolved cases, having less flexibility when a new filing wave begins. And every unresolved return occupies time, personnel, and processing bandwidth. So that's new evidence that most people are not factoring in yet. This is not a clean slate year. This is a carryover year. So when you combine existing backlog with staffing shortages and system updates, delays don't start from zero. They start from behind. And that makes timing decisions far more important than most filers even realize. So this is where the emotional weight really settles in. Now, for a very long time, Americans trusted that if they follow the rules, the system would eventually work. Maybe not fast, but fairly. Now, what's changing now is not ideology, it's experience. People file on time, submit what's required, and then they hear nothing. Weeks go by, then months. The uncertainty is what erodes trust. It's not just the delay, it's the silence. So when refunds are late, people don't know whether to plan, wait, or panic. That uncertainty bleeds into every other decision that they're making financially. And so when enough people share the same experience, confidence collapses quietly, not with protests, not with headlines, just with resignation. This is not about hating the system. This is about just feeling disconnected from it. This is why this matters, because once people stop believing that the process is predictable, even when it's slow, they start assuming the worst. And that mindset spreads faster than any official explanation ever could. So this broader frustration found a focal point in Minnesota. Reports of fraud combined with rising tax burdens ignited something deeper than a policy debate. Conservative voices began openly questioning why taxpayers are being squeezed while inefficiencies and misuse, especially in Minnesota, go unresolved. Well, this is where the tax revolt language actually comes from, not as an organized movement, but as a psychological signal, so to speak. It's a pressure valve. So when people feel trapped financially and ignored institutionally, they don't always demand reform. Sometimes they withdraw consent emotionally first. And this is what makes this moment different. The conversation's not just about tax refunds or filing dates anymore. This is about perceived fairness. Minnesota didn't create the frustration, it exposed it. And when the narrative spreads, it reshapes how people interpret every IRS delay, every unanswered call, every unexplained hold. So this matters because once trust, or I should say, once distrust attaches itself to taxes, compliance stops feeling cooperative and it starts feeling adversarial. So this is a very dangerous shift for any system built on voluntary participation. And Minnesota cannot afford this. So this is really the cold reality that most Americans don't understand until they're living it. Calling the Internal Revenue Service rarely fixes anything once your return is delayed. IRS agents don't have the authority that people assume that they do. They can't manually release a refund. They can't override system flags. They can't advise you on deductions or corrections. So in most cases, they can only tell you what status the computer already shows, or maybe just instruct you to wait. Really? Thanks. I waited on hold for 45 minutes for you to tell me to just wait for my refund? Yeah. Well, this is why so many callers hear the same answer. Go see a tax professional, not because agents don't want to help, but because the system doesn't allow discretion. Now, here's the part that people find hardest to accept. From an institutional standpoint, delays cost the IRS nothing. Holding refunds a little longer preserves their cash flows. Paying minimal interest months later is cheaper than moving faster with limited staff. So this is not really even a moral judgment. This is an operational incentive. So once your return enters the system with friction, there's no escalation button. There's no supervisor shortcut, just time. And time in this process, this is something you just don't control once you've already filed. So at the end of it, one uncomfortable truth remains. Timing may be the only leverage Americans still have. You can't speed up the IRS. You can't force systems to update faster. You can't talk your way past a hold once it happens, but you can choose when you enter the process. Now, waiting is not about fear. Waiting is about agency. It's about letting systems stabilize, letting rules fully settle, and avoiding being among the first wave that absorbs all the friction and being essentially a crash dummy. It means you're reducing the risk of losing months of silence. And that choice matters most when money is tight, expectations are high, and patience is thin. No one wants to wait, but sometimes waiting is the difference between uncertainty and control. Now, this tax season, it definitely feels different because it is different. The rules changed, the systems changed, the staffing changed, and when that much change happens all at once, rushing rarely rewards anyone. So the real question isn't whether to file early, it's whether you're willing to trade speed or trade stability. And only you can decide that. This is not tax advice. I'm not a tax advisor. Be sure to drop a like for the video, subscribe to the channel. We'll see you next time.